Thanks, Mike. All right, and we have Eric up. Take it away, Eric.
Hi, everyone. I was at that outreach on Saturday, and the only thing that disappointed me was that during the Earth Hour, they didn't turn off the lights here. So, little glitch there.
There's an hour to find them.
Yeah.
That's because the lights were out.
That's right.
And I did mention to people that when we observe, we like to go to dark sky sites, much better conditions. Also, I wanted to mention this is my 50th consecutive meeting that I have filmed. I have not missed a meeting in 50 months. And I have piles of hard drives full of video by now, terabytes worth, and I hope someday to put them all online because you've all done awesome presentations over the last 4 years, and I'm glad to film them, and I just enjoy watching them again, and they're all available in the library, and just wonderful presentations, which I'll segue into my outreach that I did at Trivium School in Gatineau, which is across the river from Rockcliffe Airport. I did an outreach there in February. It's a private school that has about 200 students. They teach in English, French, and Spanish. And the quality of the education there is excellent. But I did notice something that Sylvie Letourneau mentioned during her outreach, that the teachers are under-equipped to teach the students anything about astronomy. And so I've lent our services to the school to, if they wish to learn more about astronomy, that we would do well to actually help the teachers as much as the students and so on, because astronomy for me is, it's actually a door that opens to all of science. Not just looking at the heavens, but it's actually the only public forum that addresses science in a very unique way. And I began my presentation to the school with an opening clip, an animation of Arthur Christmas, just to get their attention going. And then after that, I talked about the RASC and how easy it is to join, and that now we're actually doing a lot to try to involve young people in our society. The demographic needs to shift and make young students more interested. I was very inspired by Nicholas Zuger's presentation last month. I'm very encouraged by that, and I hope that more students do what he's doing. So I described the benefits of joining the RASC and where we hold our meetings every month, and also our website, which is very important because that's the easiest link we have to the public, is by telling them about our website. It's amazing how many people, including the outreach we did last Saturday, don't know about the RASC. Never heard of it. And so, you know, the website is the introduction to that. And after talking about the RASC and its history, I went on to, I asked them, what is astronomy? And right away I could tell that they don't know. So I gave a brief description of the definition of astronomy. And then I went into the history of astronomy, going back to Aristarchus, Hypatia, and then closer to Galileo and Stephen Hawking. So I showed them that astronomy is a lot about our history, and that there were a lot of people involved through the ages in doing astronomy and the impacts that it's had on our society. Hypatia has become my hero. I don't know if any of you have seen the film Agora, but that film sort of caught my attention, and I decided, well, I don't like to learn from films. I want to dig deeper and get into the meat of it, and learned a lot about her and her way of thinking, which was very revolutionary. Hypatia is considered the first woman astronomer, and she lived about 1700 years ago, and her thinking revolutionized astronomy and probably even the women's movement, actually, because she had a lot of, she was a gutsy lady. And I explained one thing about that she said that inspired me was that thinking is important. Even thinking wrong is better than not thinking at all. And that's something that it's a very valuable life lesson. The other life lesson I had the opportunity to let's go to an inside slide here. Let's show them what the class looks like in there. There we go. Okay, so I'm using a monitor. I prepared some slides, and the other life lesson I had the opportunity to teach them was to be able to say, "I don't know." When someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, "I don't know" is actually a very intelligent answer. And so that's something I really wanted to get across to them. After that, we went into giving an overview of the universe. So I gave them a primer on the universe, and as I was giving him the primer, I was thinking, I need a primer on the universe. But one thing you're always scared of doing when you teach students about the universe is getting it wrong. And there's a lot of bad astronomy out there. And so that's something I was very careful about. What I did is I worked my way out from the Earth to the solar system, the local stars, the galaxy, the Virgo cluster, and right out to what we believe is the current universe. One of the students asked me, how many cubic centimeters are there in the universe?
A lot.
And so I told him, I said, well, I'd have to do the math. It depends on what shape we think the universe is. If we assumed it was a sphere, it would be a very simple equation, 4/3 pi r cubed. But we have to qualify the shape to know how much volume it has. The important thing is to try to give the best answer you have available. And I actually told him that I would get back to him later with a bit better indication of what it might be in size. The truth is we don't know how big the universe is. We have some estimates. Some people say it's 8 by 10 to the 26 meters in diameter. But that's just a guesstimate. I spent time teaching them about the concepts of orbits and gravity, and also about the sun, about how the sun is a giant nuclear furnace where a fusion reaction happens. Hydrogen is converted into helium, and the difference in mass in the conversion creates energy. And then after that, we talked about things like rockets, which we also highlight here at the RASC. And I held a bottle of water in my hand and told them, this is rocket fuel. And a lot of eyebrows raising there and that. And they did not know that when you break water down, you get rocket fuel. You get hydrogen and oxygen. And it's a very potent explosive, actually. And after that, let's go to another slide, just a little different angle. Let's see, we see the RASC logo in there. Another slide. Okay. I concluded my talk with my interest, which is impact craters. I'm actually here because of Mr. Chuck O'Dale, who introduced me to the RASC 7 years ago now, Chuck. Yep. And I'm so thankful that I've been able to become part of this, and the impact craters are still my first topic. So we talked about our explorations of impact craters here in Canada, and we've seen so many. We've been so lucky to be able to go to these places, and I was sharing that knowledge with them about impact craters. A lot of them didn't even know we had impact craters. They say, well, where are they? What do they look like? And I showed them some pictures, and I brought some impact melt and shatter cones to explain to them what they are. I also gave them some materials that Mike provided. a little constellation guide and some literature in that, and that helps them because they bring it home. I get the question sometimes from students, did God create the universe? And I explain to them that, well, from the point of view of the RASC, we study the universe using science. And that I'm not here to really talk about God. I'm here to talk about how we use the science to do that. And it's a very useful question because then it explains to them what we do. That science is the basis of our exploration of the universe. And that helped them a lot. I'd like to see more materials available to actually identify the RASC so that when they do bring it home, they know more about us. That would help a lot. And I have something here that I wanted to read to you that was inspired by a hero of mine. We celebrated him recently. And it says, the most important thing we can do is inspire young minds to advance in science, math, and education. If we do so, youngsters will be the economic engines that propel us to a brighter future. John Glenn. So I think we have a lot of work to do. We operate with no funding, no financial assistance. If anyone's been watching what they're doing in the States, NASA's providing a lot of funding right now to outreaches similar to what we do. And I would hope that the Canadian Space Agency or someone would help us a little bit along the way. And we need more volunteers. If you have the time to go to a school and teach what you know about astronomy, you should do so. It's important because it really lays the foundation for a lot of young minds in their pursuit of science. I couldn't think of anything better than astronomy to do that. Let me just check here. I plan to do as many outreaches as I can, and I'm open to all invitations in English or in French. And I'm proud to represent the RASC in those outreaches. Thank you.